Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing, well, the K-1 visa process and what I think the possibility, what I think it's going to be looking like in 2023. Well, let's start off by saying there's nowhere to go but up. Anything would be better than what we've been dealing with low the past 2.5 years or more, depending on how you want to look at it. But long story short, 2023, I'm hoping we will see backlogs at the U.S. immigration apparatus, USCIS. I hope we see that decrease substantially. Don't know how hopeful I am for that. Meanwhile, K-1 fiancé visas, one thing that I think could be interesting, I will be curious to see if there are less people that pursue the K-1 fiancé visa compared to the marriage visa, as so-called proxy marriage, which we've discussed in other videos, could be a factor that could see less people seeking the fiancé visa at the outset. One reason, in my personal opinion, the K-1 fiancé visa is far superior than an immigrant spouse visa in only one limited way, and that is not having to deal with the National Visa Center when processing K-1 fiancé visas. National Visa Center is, in my opinion, something akin to a dystopian Kafkaesque neo-Soviet quagmire, which I can't figure out why it exists in the form it exists in, other than to simply act as an obstacle for people who are in good faith trying to get their immigration situation sorted. It's the only thing I can figure out why NVC exists, honestly, because it's fully redundant with what USCIS does, and quite honestly, consular officers at embassies and consulates abroad could very easily do exactly what NVC does, and probably do it far better than NBC does it. Again, can't figure out what NBC's for other than just to delay and cause problems. I really, on an individual case basis, I get things happen. There's no sort of intent, especially malicious or anything behind it. But when you look at it in a much more macro sense, it becomes increasingly difficult to understand why NBC exists for any meaningful reason other than to just delay cases. That's the only thing I can figure out, especially in the family-based visa context. You know, when you're talking fiancés and marriage and spouses of lawful permanent residents and U.S. citizens, it really calls into question whether or not NVC is needed. The upside with respect to the K-1 is you don't have to deal with NVC to begin with. So that's kind of a benefit there. So again, the thing to take away from this video, I don't really see the overall K-1 process changing around all that greatly. Of course, if you went back to 2019, I would have said the same thing looking into 2020, and look how massively that, would have been a bad prediction. So the thing to take away from this video, while I don't see any huge black swan event coming up in the near future, I don't hold out a lot of hope that the K-1's going to get a lot faster, although I do hold out hope it will get faster. I don't think it's going to get a lot faster anytime soon, but as the year plays out, I think you'll start seeing some of this bureaucracy kind of smooth out a few things so we can get the so-called conveyor belt kind of moving along. Now, that said, again, we don't know exactly how this is going to play out. We'll certainly keep you updated on this channel as the situation evolves.